men plus the women and children, and all had plenty to eat. And he gathered up 12 baskets full leftover. And the disciples could not believe it. They were so excited. They had just seen this amazing miracle. And I can imagine, I can see them giving high fives or hugging each other. There was all this joy and victory. But while they were celebrating, my dear brothers and sisters, Jesus came over and said, I want you to get in the boat. Leave here and go across the lake to be satisfied. I can imagine them thinking. Immediately after he gathered the 12, baskets and celebrating the victory, the miracle, Jesus came over and said, get in the boat. Jesus made the disciples to get in the boat and head toward beachside. And one translation says he constrained them to get in the boat. That implies the disciples didn't want to, because they wanted to stay in that place of what? Blessing. But Jesus forced them to leave. He went up to the mountains to pray. And that night, as the disciples were traveling across the Sea of Galilee, there was a great storm. Winds and waves so strong. And in verse 48 says, they were in serious trouble. Some of them were what? Experienced fishermen. They knew how to navigate, on the sea. And they had dealt with storms. But this situation, at this time, it was very dangerous. They do not know if they were going to make it through. Sometimes, my dear brothers and sisters, God will take you out of a comfortable situation, out of a place of blessing, where you're seeing favor, and then He will force you into a boat, into your boat, so to speak. God's order in your steps, you have seen His blessing, but now the winds and the waves. And you would say, God, I never thought I'd be dealing with this trouble, with this medical issue, this child. That is, of course, you find yourself in a storm. Now, can I encourage you, my dear brothers and sisters? Remember this. God would not have allowed the storm if you were not going to make it to the other side. If that storm was going to stop with purpose, He would have never forced you to get in the boat. So remember this. That trouble was going to take you out. He would have never had to leave sent you across the lake is because He has greater things in your future. Yes, you saw a miracle, like the feeding of the 5,000.